Hey Aries, welcome to your general reading for July 2016. Now, this is my very first YouTube monthly tarot reading. I've done readings for other people in other situations, but I hadn't done a monthly reading for the signs. So, you are my OG, my original guinea pig, so here we go. I am shuffling the cards. And I want to ask the universe, what are the energies that we get for Aries for the month of July 2016? What advice does the universe have for us for Aries for the month of July 2016? I gotta get my shuffling game up because it is not great. It's not graceful. I shuffle well, but graceful's not it. My Mars is in Aries, so that may be. I'm too busy trying to get it done, and there's no grace. Anyway, okay. So we are shuffling the cards. What can the universe tell us about the month of July 2016 for Aries? And I'm going to do a spread of 4 cards for each week of the month. The month has already started, so our first card will be a bit retrospective. But just bear with me. Okay? I'll show you. I know you can't see the table here. And hopefully I'll evolve into a better setup. But here we go. I'll show you the cards as I draw them. The first card we have is the Two of Wands reversed. And I'm using the Rider-Waite deck. It's I gifted myself with this deck. Nobody else has done this. I know tradition usually says that people will gift somebody with that tarot deck, but I don't have anybody in my family or anybody who does this, so I went out and got myself a deck. And because I am pretty new to reading tarot publicly, I got the Rider-Waite deck that has a small description of it. The second card, and this will be the second week in July, is the Page of Swords. The third card, this will be representative of the third week in July. And fourth card, and I'm sorry, let me go back. If I didn't mention, the third card that represents the third week in July is the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. The fourth card again is Three of Wands upright. And I believe that there is a fifth week in this month. So we're going to draw a fifth card, which is the Seven of Wands upright. Okay, so first I want to start by saying that I see several wands in this spread. And wands are about creativity. Wands are ruled by the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And wands, it talks about our passion. It's our movement. It is Um, it's the fire energy within us. So, with the, excuse me for 1 second because I don't have a lot of light in here, so I can't speak. For the first week, again, we have the Two of Swords reversed. And the Two of Swords talks about how new beginnings can turn against you, and the luck can turn bad. Um, the ideas were not original enough, and the timing was off. There was bad initial planning. Um, and that suggests that that is what is to blame in some of the more difficult energies that will go into the first week of July. Now, when we look into the symbolism of this card, and twos are about choices. They're crossroads, decisions to be made. Twos can be about reconciliations, reunions, it's dualities. The Two of Wands in reverse, though, like I said before, um, can be where maybe a creative idea or a plan that you had worked against you. um, this could even talk about, so far as I'm concerned, um, not plagiarism literally, and I would say that if this were the Two of Swords reversed, but um, okay, this is the way I see this. Maybe about the duplication of an endeavor, of movement, of effort. This suggests that within that first week of July, that something works against you because maybe something that you chose to do was not of your own concept. It's not your original thinking. Um, unfortunately, this could suggest, such a copycat situation for a particular project or journey. Yeah, these are journeys and things like that. I don't know. Like, for example, let's say that a friend of yours said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to San Tropez and have myself a great time." And it's not that it's not okay for, San Tropez wasn't just made for one person, but in this particular situation, the way that I see it is that maybe a friend or a family member, and this is just an example, said, "Hey, I'm going to San Tropez, I'm gonna have a great time." And then rather than you coming up with your own idea, something that would suit you, you decided that you will go to San Tropez too. And on your way to San Tropez, your flight was delayed. You didn't get your peanuts on the plane. When you got off, your luggage was lost. You couldn't get a cab to get to the hotel. When you got to the hotel, they said there were no rooms available. Blah blah blah. I think you get the gist. Because your plans were not original. Maybe it's copycat, or go so far as to say even stolen from somebody, that things didn't go as planned. So the first week of July, if you are not coming from a sense of true self, if you're not coming from your own place, if you are basing your activities and your movements based off of something that you've heard or that you know about somebody else, then that's not going to work for you. That's going to backfire. That could blow up in your face. So you really want to try to, for the rest of this week, um, Well, actually, we're a day into the first week of July, so you still got a nice amount of the week to go. So it would be a good idea to make sure that your action plans are your own. Uh, Even though imitation is thought to be the highest form of flattery, um, in this case, not so much. Okay, so the second week of July, we've got the Page of Swords upright. And swords are about information. You know, swords can also be about conflict. And I can't see really well. I've got some bad lighting here, so if you'll excuse me for 1 second. Okay, I don't think much changed as far as the lighting is concerned. But moving on to the second week, we've got the Page of Swords. And like I said, swords are about information. This is the intellect. The Page of Swords to me is a young whippersnapper. This is somebody who comes in with the energy of a lightning bolt. And there's a very fresh perspective intellectually. Um, and because it's the page, court cards are people or energy that comes into your life. A lot of the times the court cards um, don't represent you, but they can. But in this case, you know, we want to say that in the second week of July, there is somebody that comes into your space, that comes into your world, who is, and with the Page of Swords, I like to think of this as a young male, and it may not necessarily be chronologically. Um, this just could be, you know, somebody with a very youthful life energy and a very fresh perspective on ideas. Um, Pay attention to the things that this person says, the information that is given to you, because the swords are about intellect, if I hadn't said that before. And, you know, with the pages are the youngest of the court cards. The page, the queen, I'm sorry, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. So the way I see it, the pages is going to always be the least experience, has the least knowledge, and probably the most immature. But um, in in a lot of cases, especially when we talk about innovativeness, which is what the swords will talk about in the way I see it, because the swords are represented by um, the air signs, Gemini, um, Libra, Aquarius, and I hope I am not forgetting somebody. Okay. Um, yeah, I think it's just Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. When it comes, especially with the way that things change, um, a lot of times it is better to have a new, fresh perspective on things. As opposed to tradition's great. I'm personally a big fan of tradition. I think things have gotten way out of hand because we have stepped so far away from tradition overall. You know, there are a lot of things that I do that are not traditional, but you either you move forward or you get stuck back there. Everybody else is going but you. And so with the Page of Swords, I think that this is refreshing for new ideas, and for fresh perspective, and genius innovation. If there were not for swords, there'd be no innovation. Now, the one thing that I'm thinking about this is, if this talks about you at all, I want to say, think before you speak. This is in the upright position, but to me, this talks about somebody who, is very quick on the draw. Like I said, a young whippersnapper. So to me, this says something about there could be times where you speak before you think. Make sure you know what you're about to say. Or if this is somebody that's coming into your life, um, before you get all bent out of shape about something that said, take into account that this is the Page of Swords and that they may speak before they think. But in this case, a lot of what the energy of the Page of Swords is going to bring, the way I see it, is that new, fresh perspective, especially coming from these ideas in the first week of the month that may have backfired on you because they were not original. Now, when this Page of Swords comes in and gives you some information, some new information or some new ideas, that is not to say, or you might say, well, that's still not original. Well, maybe he didn't give you the answer, but maybe he said some things that sparked ideas in you that gave you the opportunity to now come into something that's original, so you can undo what you did here in the first week of July. Okay, so now in the third week of July, we have got the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. The symbolism of this card, as you can see, there's somebody there, and this card kind of makes me laugh. And fours are about structure. Fours can also be limiting, because if you think of four, you think about a box. Fours can be limiting, and in this case, what we see is somebody who um, the pentacles are coins, and pentacles represent money, earthly desires, material possessions, finances, sexual desires. The pentacles are ruled by the earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So when we see pentacles, we're talking about money. So um, maybe this new idea or this fresh perspective on something that was brought into your world in the second week of July, maybe this turned into some type of financial opportunity. But you might be holding on very tight to your gains, and you can't get anything out of it. As you can see, he's got the pentacle above his head, he's holding one, and then he's got his feet firmly planted on the two pentacles below him, and he is holding on to those coins for dear life. Well, it's great to save for a rainy day, but what are you going to do while you're here? Also, look out for things like, somebody might be trying to take your money. You could be holding on tight for a reason, because somebody might be trying to steal your money. There could be embezzlement or things like that. But if you are just being a tightwad, you're not going to enjoy. You're not going to enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you're watching every dime. And Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I think I'm a Leo, so I don't know anything about watching every dime. I admire that in the earth signs, but in this case, this says to me that you're overdoing it, or it says that there's a valid reason that you're doing it, because if you don't watch your money, somebody's going to take it from you one way or another. So be careful, be conscientious. Either way, be conscientious about what's going on here with the Four of Pentacles in reverse in the third week of July. So now, In the fourth week of July, we have the Three of Wands upright. Threes are about communication, friendships, uh, working with a group towards a goal. Um, the Three of Wands, and as you can see, those wands are planted firmly into the ground. So this says to me that there has been something that has been established, and that can hold him up. Should he need to be held up? And he's looking out. I know that's a little odd, but he's looking out in front of him, and that looks like a vast wasteland, but I think it's really water. Um, and there are mountains in front of him, so those mountains show some prosperity. So the Three of Wands says, hang in there, and maybe this the Three of Wands too could say that you have people that depend on you staying strong, that depend on you hanging in there. You looking ahead, you know that this is you're ready for the journey, and you've got your walking sticks to hold you up, to help assist you through that journey. Um, you've got, and I know it's a little hard to see that, but you got both feet planted on the ground, and one appears to me to be on like grass, um, which shows to me that there is growth and there's still life, even after maybe what has gone against you in that first week. So, and even if you have held on to your money so tightly that you didn't get to, get any benefit out of it, or if somebody was trying to take your things from you, this Three of Wands to me says that you still have the passion and the energy and the drive left, and the creativity. You can see that it's going to be a journey, because that's a vast wasteland there in front of him as he looks forward. But he's got his walking sticks and his wands, and your wands can be used as, like I said, walking sticks to support you, or they can also be used as weapons if something's getting in your way. You've got the tools that you need to get past that situation and get past that big, vast land. I mean, that it looks treacherous, and in some ways it might be. But these Three Wands says, hey, we got your back. We're holding you up. You can do it. And there are people that depend on you to do it. There are people who see you as, that vision, that creative vision. And like I said, this talks about working. The threes are about group activities. It's about friendships and communications and things of that nature. So you probably won't have to go it alone in the fourth week. And I don't know if somebody took something from you in the third week of, because we did talk about that, and maybe somebody took something from you. Something was, maybe you lost something, not in the way that you lost it like, oh my god, I dropped it, I lost it, but something of value that you had maybe in the first and second week, and that you try to hold on to in the third week, you don't have anymore going into the fourth week. And the fourth week with these Three of Wands is saying, hey, don't even worry about it. Look forward. It's going to be hard, but you're going to get there, and you've actually got the support of friends. You've got the support of a group. You've got that. They see that you've got that creative vision, and probably the only one who sees difficulties ahead is you, because the others around you, they depend on you for whatever it is that you're given. So no matter what was taken from you in the third week of July, the Three of Swords says to me that in the fourth week of July, you can keep moving, you can keep going. So don't give up. And you've got people that look up to you. So, even if you don't do it for yourself, maybe you can get the energy with these wands because you know that other people are looking up to you, and you have the help. There, you've got a group that can help you keep your communication strong. Okay, and in that last week of July, the fifth week, and we don't have this often, you've got more wands. That is the Seven of Wands upright. Okay, and as you can see, there are 6 wands that are firmly planted into the ground, and he's still holding one. And this says to me that sevens are about introspection. It's about the ultimate truths. Um, it's about spirituality. The other way I see sevens is about, they say that 7 is God's favorite number if you believe in that type of thing. So I like sevens. And with the 7 of Wands, this is saying to me, because it looks to me like the battle essentially is won. Just like with the 3 of Swords, with the 3 of Wands, and he's got those 3 wands that are holding him up and that are firmly planted. You see 3 more, so double the wands are planted in the 7 of Swords. But he's holding one because for some reason he thinks that he is still in a battle. And he just might be. Because there may be somebody out here who disputes your creative passion. But the 7 of Wands says, look, stand up for what you've done. Because more than likely, you've done the right thing. You've come out of the first week of unoriginality, and you obviously learned from that due to the repercussions. And then maybe somebody came along in that second week and gave you some game for free, some information. And so you not only learned about what was wrong and why it was wrong in the first week of July, but you gained something from it. It turned into some type of maybe financial endeavor. It was something that you gained from it, but for some reason you weren't able to enjoy it. You weren't able to keep it because somebody took it from you, or because, like I said, you held on so tight that you weren't able to benefit from it. And then we went into the 4th week where it's saying, hey, don't worry about it. You still got what it takes to get, through this, to get over this. Yeah, it looks treacherous and looks like an uphill battle. But even if it is, check out those mountains back there, baby. That's prosperity. And so the 7 of Wands is saying to me to continue to stand up for what you've done and for what you're about to do here with the 3 of Wands. Whatever it is that you set out to do as you set out on this journey, the 7 of Wands says to me, you did the right thing. So no matter what anybody says about your passion, about what it is that you've chosen to do and how you've chosen to do it, you've done what was right for you and your situation. It's not a full-fledged battle. You think it is. But it's not a full-fledged battle. But you've got your guard up, and that's okay. And I can see why you've got your guard up, because somebody might have taken something from you in the third week. Okay, so overall, you know, I think that this is a positive reading. This talks to me about a lot of creative energy and passion and movement in the first, I'm sorry, in the month of July. The other thing I want to do is now use numerology. I want to see what the overall. So we've got 7 and 3, which is 10, 4, which is 14, and 2, which is 16. And so let me make sure I do that right. So we got 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 2 is 16. And the page does not have a number value. So in numerology, we whatever numbers we get, we got 16, and we want to um, simplify that to one number. So 1 and 6 is 7. So we've got the 7 of Wands here for the 5th week of July, and the outcome. And then the overall energy of the reading is the 7. And the 7 can suggest, like I said, it's the utmost truths, it's spirituality. I love the number 7. The 7 can also suggest a time for solitude and introspection. So with all of this energy and passion in the month of July, there's a need to take some time out and look inward and find out what the utmost truths are. Overall, not getting caught up in what you see in the day to day. What is the ultimate truth? And when you get to that ultimate truth, you stand up for that. It may be a bigger battle. I mean, it may not be as big of a battle as you think it is, but there may still be something here for you to fight for. But take that time of introspection and solitude. This might be a little bit of a waiting period for something. Maybe what you lost in the third week is going to come back to you. Maybe this group and that's coming to help you get through this difficult journey in the fourth week is going to help you recover based on the ultimate truths, what you lost in the third. So that's the way I see it. And you can check me out again next month. I plan to come back with additional readings. So I hope you guys have a great 4th of July weekend, as I am doing this video before the 4th. Everybody stay safe. I know how you Aries are. You move quick, you think later, so watch out. People popping fireworks. Don't get popped by a firework. Don't end up in the hospital with the hand that got blew up because you were holding the firework because you want to throw it at somebody. Don't do it. Just enjoy yourself. Take all of this creative energy, even though, you know, we're talking about the entire month of July. Aries is about energy. Like I said, the wands are ruled by the fire signs, and Aries is the first of that fire sign. And Aries is about the manifestation of new ideas and new energy, and Aries just goes. So I know how you are. So have a safe 4th of July weekend, okay? Don't do nothing crazy, Aries. We love you. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye bye.